Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'm Crystal, and this is Crystal Uncut, where I give you the real on money management, wellness, and personal development so we can all grow into being our best selves. So, if you're interested in bettering your financial situation at all, you've probably heard that you should be investing. But it's less common that you've heard what exactly investing is. So, before we even get started into the different types of investments you can make, I want to go ahead and give a breakdown of exactly what investing is. According to Investopedia, investing is the act of allocating resources, usually with the expectation of generating an income or a profit. So, when someone tells you that you should invest in this company, what they're telling you to do is take money that you have right now and give it to a company so that they can use that money to invest in new resources and in new ways to make money. And then ultimately, that company will make a profit. And when that company makes a profit, your investment is worth more because that company is now worth more. So that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes when someone just says, you need to invest in this or you need to do that. Because it can be really confusing to hear all this jargon but not know what's actually happening on the back end, especially when you look at all of the opportunities we have today with things like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and Forex. And I will not be covering those topics in this video because I really don't know what they are. So, what we will be talking about is the more traditional types of investments. So, what are some different types of investments? As I talked about earlier, there are more futuristic, new age type of investments, but for today's video, I want to get started with the more classic and easy to understand investments. So first, we have stocks. When you buy a stock, you are buying a share of a company, essentially, and you are hoping to sell that stock later for what's called a capital gain, because you want the stock price of the company to go up when you sell it. Another type of investment is real estate. When you purchase real estate and rent it out to tenants, you hope to make money back on the rent and then eventually by selling or passing down that property as property values go up. That would be how you invest in real estate. And then another type of investment is a commodity. So investing in gold would be an example of investing in a commodity. So those are a few different types of investments. And since this video is about how to get started investing, I just want to narrow down on one. And the type of investment that I would say is the easiest for beginners to access would be investing in the stock market. So the stock market grows historically, even though it has had times of turmoil, and that would be something that's called volatility. So when you invest in stocks, you are putting your money in the stock market and hoping for returns over the long term. And when I say hoping, I mean making sure you're buying things that you understand and are confident that will give you a long-term return. So, a way to get started investing in stocks is by using a robo-advisor. I will always recommend a robo-advisor for beginners because they will have an algorithm where you can just enter your specific situation, how much money you have, how much risk you're willing to take, and when you want to be able to pull the money out for them to provide the best option for you. So, for example, the robo-advisor I use to invest is called Wealthfront. Wealthfront is a company where you can just you can download their app, and I think their minimum fee for investing is $500.
Quick edit here. I actually misspoke when talking about the $500 fee. It is not a $500 fee. It is a $500 minimum to get started on the platform.
And with $500, they will build you a portfolio based on your risk and what you're trying to do with that money. So I actually have 2 accounts with Wealthfront, and one account is what's called an IRA, a Roth IRA, an individual retirement account, where I invest $500 a month, so that's $6,000 a year, which is the US limit for investing in an IRA. And the reason you want to start with an IRA is because that's a tax advantaged account. And a tax advantaged account essentially means that you don't have to pay taxes either going into or pulling out of the account. So a very common example of a tax advantage account is a 401k. A lot of employers will offer a 401k, and hopefully you are automatically enrolled into the program at your employer. If you're not, you definitely want to talk to your HR person about investing in your 401k, because there's a lot of tax savings to be had with a 401k. So if you already invest in your 401k, the next step you might want to take is to go ahead and invest in an IRA, an individual retirement account. So like I said, I use Wealthfront for my IRA, but there are other companies that you can use for an IRA, such as Vanguard or Betterment. And they are companies that can build you a portfolio. So there's usually a small investing fee, and you don't want your investing fee to be more than, say, 0.5%, because those can eat into your returns long term. But Wealthfront's investing fee is, I believe, 0.25, and until you have $5,000 in your account, you don't even pay that fee. So I would say it's a pretty good place for beginners to get started, because they build you a portfolio where you don't have to know every single thing about the stock market to make a smart investing decision. They have an algorithm to do that for you. And since their fees are based on your returns, they're incentivized to build you something that's going to work for you. So that's why I will always suggest a robo-advisor for someone who's just getting started in investing, because it's really hard to understand what all of these options are and where to get started. And it's so easy for people to get analysis paralysis that holds them up from returns in the long term, which is one of the most dangerous things you can do in the path to building wealth. There are going to be times that your investments do go poorly, and you will learn from those times. But there's nothing worse than sitting on the sideline when the stock market is just going up and up and up, but you don't know what to do, right? So I will always recommend starting with a robo-advisor. So let's say you want to get started setting up an account on Wealthfront. For this video, I'm just using Wealthfront because it's the platform I use, but this video is not sponsored. Go ahead and feel free to invest on any platform that fits your needs, but we're just going to use Wealthfront in this example. So say you set up your account on Wealthfront and you have $500 right now, for example, to invest, and you want to invest that. But what you really want to be doing is working on investing on a consistent basis, and it's almost going to be like paying a bill. So if you've ever heard that phrase, pay yourself first, this is exactly what that phrase means. A lot of these apps have automatic withdrawals from your bank account after you get paid, so that you can invest without having the hassle of thinking about it every single time you have a little bit of money left over. And automating investing is one of the best ways to make investing a habit over time, even when you only have a little bit of money. You can change your amounts to whatever works for you, say $50 a month, $100 a month, and you can work your way up from there. So, when is the best time to invest? The best time to invest is today. It is right now. As soon as you are done watching this video, if you have an extra few $100s that you don't need to be spending and you want to grow your wealth, go ahead and open up an investment account today. And you're going to save one, only invest money that you don't need to pay your bills, right? Like if you need to pay your rent and your rent is $1,000 and you only have $1,000 in your account, do not invest that money and have nothing to pay your rent with. But investing is designed to grow wealth with any money you have after paying your bills and saving for a rainy day. That's what investing really does to you. And so it's important to invest in as early as possible, because investing will yield you compound interest, which is when your money grows exponentially over time. So even if you read an article that says the market's overvalued today, or the market's going to crash, it might, but no one really knows. And what we've seen over history is the market going up and up and up every year. And there are people who are missing out on that wealth because of fear. So it's really important to try to make this decision based on historical data and not based on media companies who are trying to scare you so that they can get a click. It's awesome that we live in a world where so many people have access to investing, and it is not just this big scary thing that only rich Wall Street men do. Since we have access to this, I wanted to make this video so that you all could understand the foundation of investing a little bit more and hopefully get started on your own journey. Please let me know if you have any questions below, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed the content. Thank you.